If you are a midlife woman or you're coming up on this powerful season of growth, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Unraveling Together. I'm Samantha Graber, also known as Dr. Sam, seasoned holistic health physician and woman in the midst of midlife's unraveling. I created Unraveling Together to help a woman understand what is happening to her during this season. In a sea of changing hormones and moods, we need a space for safe exploration, a space to enter unencumbered and where we won't be judged for our pasts nor for our anxieties about the uncertain future. Unraveling Together is the place to talk about the things we just don't talk about, but so desperately need to as women. Together we untangle ourselves from our pasts and weave a beautiful web for a future we so deeply desire to bring to life. We do this firmly planted in the here and now. And we do this through doing the work. We do it together. You are never alone as you navigate the midlife waters. I'm here right alongside you, and I bring friends. Grab a cup of chai, water, tea, or joe, and let's dive in. Life as we know it can be stressful, to say the least. Add to it the breakneck speed at which most of us operate, and it's no wonder we have to jolt ourselves with caffeine or a sugar high multiple times a day. We jump from one thing to another because we're always behind the eight ball, with a never-ending row of deadlines in our future. Just when we think we've got it all handled, life hands us a reminder we do not, nor will we ever. It's often pure chaos. It is easy to think you will feel invigorated if you just get some extra sleep or a vacation. So why is it that even on the weekends or possibly after some time away, we still feel rotten and exhausted? All signs point to what we eat to provide fuel to our body and brain. The way we eat, also known as our diet, is typically a high carbohydrate, processed, low nutrient, high calorie affair. In fact, the average person eats too many carbs, calories too. And not only are the calories too many, they're typically quote-unquote empty calories to boot. This catastrophe comes in the form of white breads, white rice, processed sweeteners, chips, fries, baked potatoes, etc. I'm willing to bet that almost every exhausted American who eats 3 meals a day, of which half or more, when measured in calories, are white carbs, also eats several snacks loaded with sugar in some form. We erroneously assume a piece of fruit will make our diets healthier, whilst in reality, it adds more sugar and only a few more nutrients. We have taken our government's recommendation to heart. Eat more carbs, eat less fat. The RDA, or the recommended daily allowance, for carbs is way too high to balance out our energy. The spike in glucose is followed by an equally intense low. In fact, since most of us eat more than recommended, we are on a sugar high and crash all day. Eating processed foods, which are almost all carbs, causes us to crave them more, and there are consequences. Too many carbohydrates can impact our energy level on several fronts. First of all, we are running on a constant up and down glucose-insulin cycle, which can wreak havoc on our adrenals. Adrenal fatigue can ensue. Adrenal fatigue is when our hormones, most notably our stress hormones, are out of balance. We exhaust ourselves from running on adrenaline. When you eat carbs, your blood sugar spikes quickly. In response, your body releases insulin to remove the sugar, also known as glucose, from the blood, where it can build up and cause damage. All that sugar goes into our muscles and liver. When they are full, any excess glucose is stored in body fat. Now this makes our energy crash and makes us crave food again. Any guess as to what the body will crave? Yep, you got it, carbs. Secondly, we are eating carbohydrate at the expense of more nutritious foods. Most high carbohydrate processed foods are shockingly low in nutrients. There is nothing you can get in a cup of rice or a slice of bread that you will not get 100 times over if you eat a cup of dark leafy greens, root vegetables, or non-sweet fruit. Even sweet fruits have a reduced amount of antioxidants and vitamins compared to non-sweet or fatty fruits, but we are filling our stomachs with these carby foods instead of more nutritious ones. As long as they are otherwise healthy, the average person can run just as well, if not better, on ketones 24/7 as they can on glucose. Now, what are these ketones of which I speak? They are a combination of fats and proteins that make an alternative energy source for our bodies to run on. I liken them to jet fuel, and your body does too, along with your brain. Now, overnight, when we naturally abstain from eating, we burn through our blood glucose and tap into our stored glucose, which is called glycogen. Depending on how much glycogen we have on hand and how long our overnight food fast was, along with our resting energy needs, we may or may not burn through our reserves. If we happen to tap out our glycogen stores, then and only then will we tap into the abundance of energy available as triglycerides in our body fat. It's a genius design. When we focus on eating fat and protein, we control our insulin cycle. This is the complete opposite of the carbohydrate-heavy cycle we've adopted out of convenience. When our bodies need energy while ketone-fueled, they can ask us to eat more or just make more ketones out of our own fat, tiding us over until the next meal. And if we have too many ketones, they will be flushed out of our bodies through our urine rather than stored as fat. Your energy will be topped off all day without gaining fat. We also eat less high-calorie foods, leaving room in our stomachs for high-nutrient foods. Now, this means that all those nutrients that fight fatigue, such as zinc, magnesium, selenium, B vitamins, vitamin E, etc., have a better chance of getting into our diets in the first place. A huge plate of mixed greens and shredded root vegetables with a couple eggs or some beef or chicken thighs can make an amazing, satisfying, micronutrient-dense, energizing meal. No need for high-carb foods. Thank you for joining me on the Unraveling Together podcast. Would you help a sister out and do me a quick favor? If you gained any value from this episode, please give me a 5-star rating on iTunes and leave a comment so others can more easily find us. Now, if you can't leave a 5-star rating, I'd love to know why. This podcast is a work in progress, as am I. Please send your feedback to hello@unravelingtogether.com so I can improve the listener experience. And if you want to dive deeper into exploring your midlife experience, consider joining the Unraveling Together community of rebellious midlife women. It is there that we roll up our sleeves and do the work. It is at the midlife point in our lives we face a critical choice: step into our true selves vibrantly with purpose, or shrink into the invisible shell society wants us to inhabit, drugged up and burned out. I know my choice, and if you've listened this far, I have a good idea yours would be the same. Unraveling Together is a resource hub, roadmap, and online coaching group curated by yours truly. Unravelers, that's what I call us. We are thinkers, we are doers, we are collaborators. We are navigating this time called midlife together, for we truly believe we are stronger together. And when unravelers are in need of an assist, they have all of us there alongside them.